Okay, that must have been a difficult meditation with little instructions. Um, we have come to the ending of this meditation retreat. You know, you think you are enlightened, they say you go live with your family for 7 days. They will tell you if you are actually enlightened. Especially, I'm meditating, don't disturb me. So that is a sign of your enlightenment, showing how far you have reached in your enlightenment. Really, some people do that. They try to control the environment where they are in, and that is where the work is. When they stop doing that, they are at peace. It's not about controlling the outside environment. It's about your response to it. This is where we forget. We become a little forgetful. So I like to share this story from Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, the Vietnamese master who passed away about 2 years ago, I think. He lived in Plum Village. When he was a novice monk, his teacher told him to bring the meditation bell. This novice monk got so excited because my teacher is asking me to do this. So he slammed the door behind him. And the teacher stopped him and said, "My dear child, now come back." Close the door again. So this time, with full of his presence, he closed that door very gently. And his teacher never had to remind him again how to close that door, how to close the door. He learned it. And then he brought the meditation bell and anything else he was told to do, he did them happily, but with more mindfulness. Later, he became a big meditation teacher himself, and he was visiting Connecticut. At that time, he was friends with Thomas Merton, who also has passed away. He lived in this Trappist monastery, and Thomas had his own students that he taught to. So Thich Nhat Hanh was visiting this monastery and told this story to Thomas, from story from his childhood. This is what I learned from my teacher. And Thomas said, "Yeah, before even you tell me this story, I saw how carefully you closed the door. I saw it. You didn't have to tell me. I saw it. You're fully there with this one simple thing." And Thich Nhat Hanh went back to France, to Plum Village, and Thomas shared this story with his students, about Thich Nhat Hanh, his childhood, novice monk story, and his experience with Thich Nhat Hanh of closing the door, and that he shared this story. In that group, obviously there were many Catholic students, and there was this one Catholic lady. She was inspired. She went to Plum Village in France to see how Thich Nhat Hanh closed the door. Nothing else. So when you are practicing, cultivating mindfulness, it's not in the sitting only. It's not only in the sitting. It's in everything we do. In the talking, in the walking, in looking at someone, because you can burn somebody by just a look, right? You can just throw, You can just give the side eye, or can do a lot without talking. And you can slam the door to express anger. This door did not do anything, did nothing to provoke this anger, but the door has to endure this man's anger. There's a message in that, the way somebody closed the door, you know. And that, when you are in an environment where you feel that anger, you now you feel like walking on eggshells. This is when you know that it has nothing to do with you. It's that this other person is suffering. What will you do? You radiate compassion to them. You do not want to respond because that person is not in a place where they are able to receive your message. You have to be silent. Silence, mindful silence, and privately and publicly radiating loving kindness to them. That is the only way. And that is how we maintain our serenity, composure, peace. Because the moment you begin to address it, there is chaos. There is definite chaos. Your ego can get in the way, your, whatever the faults that they remember about you, they start to play that tape. There's no way you can correct them because they are entitled to their own opinions. And they say arguing with a fool means it only proves that there are two fools in this situation, arguing to win something. The Buddha said, when you give up winning and losing, you sleep well. There's nothing to win, nothing to lose. You just have your own precious moment, your own precious life, living moment to moment. For that, we need some discipline. Some discipline where you protect yourself from certain problems. You have your own rules that you follow, and you have these rules because you love yourself. In Sedaka Sutta, the Buddha said, you protect yourself, and by protecting oneself, you protect others. So the story there is that there were these acrobat performers, the teacher and then the student. And they performed. They can climb up this bamboo pole, and they don't fall. They can perform in front of a big crowd, and everybody loved their performance. They make money out of this, and they made this their living. And the teacher then told the student, let's do this continuously. You protect me, I protect you. And the student said, no, that's not how it works. You protect yourself, I will protect myself. And the teacher said, yes, that's what I meant. You and the Buddha, having taken this as an example, he said, this monks, you each have to protect yourself like this. How do we protect yourself? You protect yourself by patience. Patience lead to Nibbana. You know that. Always keeping that patience. This too shall pass. I do not have to address this situation. This has nothing to do with me. I did not provoke this person's anger. I did not provoke this situation. If you did cause any suffering, of course, you have to take responsibility, apologize, and all that. And that is leading to the next quality, caring, anudeta. You care for that environment where you live. You know your responsibilities, and that requires discipline. You follow that kind of discipline, and that shows you care. Closing the door is an act of caring. They can slam the door 100 times. You close that door gently 100 times. Right? That is always, you know, your responsibilities in your control. And loving kindness, that's another quality that protects you and protects others. Loving kindness. Privately and publicly, you radiate loving kindness to them. You do not want to provoke a sleeping lion or sleeping giant. Everybody has their own ways of responding to things, but you are protecting your own mind, protecting yourself. And compassion. I think I mentioned that word many times today, being compassionate. You need to include yourself, otherwise, you are pouring from an empty cup. You need to protect your own loving kindness and compassion before you can give it to others. Or you also need to empty your cup of opinions. So there's room for growth, there's room for understanding and wisdom. So that is how the Buddha instructed. He would look at what's happening out there and try to instruct monks. The Buddha always looked at monks and said, you don't have your mother and father living with you here in the monastery. You need to look after each other. You cannot abandon, ignore somebody. There was a situation like that. One monk was so sick, no monk helped him. This is in Kuchivikaravattu. And the Buddha discovered the sick monk and asked the other monks, why didn't you help him? And those monks responded, this monk never helped us before, so we don't want to help him. This is when the Buddha said, no, that's not how it works. If you are practicing my Dhamma, you truly will look after this person. It's a quality that you develop. It's about you, not about what they do to you. That's how we may create conditions for peaceful mindset. What we all need to understand is the first verse of the Dhammapada, that we live in the mind. The Buddha said it slightly differently. Mind is the forerunner. Mind made are they. With mind, mind precedes everything. Mind is the greatest. So we live in the mind, but what do you understand about it? In this mind home, we can say we live in a mansion, we live in a temple, but you can live like a monster in a monastery. You can live in a mansion like a priest, like a saint. It's about your mind. So in that big mind home, if anger is continuously boiling in the kitchen of that mind, and if past worries and all the regrets are buried under the rugs of this mind home, you don't live in peace, you live in pieces. There's broken pieces in you that you need to put together this puzzle and correct your life. So meditation alone does not solve all the problems. It's your lifestyle, discipline, patience, qualities that you cultivate, the sorry, entire Eightfold Path, which includes, right thoughts, right speech, right action, right livelihood, and continuous meditation practice. I believe you feel inspired from whatever the practice you did. That's the effort you put forward. I didn't do anything. It's the, you know, I didn't read the book today. It's, we kind of practice the book. Um, Reading doesn't do much to me. So in the practice, we discover a lot about ourselves. And it's a gift you give to yourself. And when you give that gift, you keep giving that to yourself. And you are able to see Dhamma in everything, as I have been telling you today. In everything, every experience, everything is truth, everything is Dhamma. The moment you try to change the truth, you are inviting for suffering. And in that last section of the Satipatthana Sutta, establishing mindfulness, you look at the 7 factors of awakening, which I let you discover. I only named them in the practice. The Buddha instructs us to notice them when they are present, see when they have disappeared, and you know how to create conditions for them to reappear in your experience, in your mind. Say, for example, you are with mindfulness awakening factor. You know you have lost it. How do you bring that again? You know how to bring that again. You just sit, close your eyes, and begin breathing. Then you are again back on track, being mindful, but make it an awakening factor by remaining in that state a little longer. But you do need to let go of your laziness. 50% of meditation is coming to the cushion. You have to come somehow to the cushion. You have to sit. And when you do that, the rest happens. You have to prepare to it like going to work. Wash your face, clean. You're not sitting like in a lazy situation. It has to be. You have to bring that energy and effort and interest to it. Then it becomes a beautiful experience. It starts paying back. It's not something you take for granted. You have to be serious about it. But again, understand what is right meditation and wrong meditation, right mindfulness and wrong mindfulness. If you are concentrating too much on unnecessary news and politics, that's wrong mindfulness, not focusing on the right things. If you are seeing some improvements in your wisdom on cessation and passing away of phenomena, you are on right track, right mindfulness. If you are with your breath and there's always tranquility and peace, then you are on track. The Buddha said in Kalama Sutta that those people in Kalama, Kesaputtiya, that village, there were many teachers visiting that township. Everybody taught something and they said this is right and what others are teaching is wrong. They were so confused. They went to the Buddha when the Buddha visited and they said, how do we practice? And everybody says this is right. We don't understand anything. The Buddha said, see if your loving kindness improves with some kind of practice. Your compassion improves with some kind of practice. See if your mindfulness, peacefulness improves. Then you know that is the right practice. So this is how he gave responsibility, autonomy to yourself. You look at it yourself and you know it's working. Then you practice it. That's how he empowered us. All right, enough talking. Any questions? Anything you wrote down in a piece of paper as a question, you can send it to us. You don't have to ask questions. Anything that you need clarifications for? Any word that I used that you didn't understand? Which part of the day you liked the most? Maybe I should ask a question like that. Food?
For me, it was the end, walking meditation into the meditation, into the discussion.
Great.
Very nice.
Yeah, I really like the walking meditation. Really, yeah. It was really unstructured. We didn't have a structure. We just let everybody walk. Because you were in meditation already. The mind knew what to do most of the time. And then we sat in meditation. So it's always encouraged to sit at the end of a walking meditation. You walk for 20 minutes or so, and you come to the cushion and you start your sitting practice because there's so much energy developed at that point. So your meditation will be so different from just coming to the cushion and starting a sitting. Or if you came to the cushion and started your sitting and you tried meditating, it didn't work, you do walking meditation that day. That's enough. If you feel like sitting and you have the time, do sit. Sit as you don't set a time. That little novice monk who set a time to his meditation, his time was actually burning incense. He had a bunch of them burning, and he was determined that he wouldn't get up until all those were burnt. But sometime later he would slowly open his eyes to see if they're actually burnt. That's the wrong way to meditate. It develops impatience in you. That's not needed. So you need to really see that meditation is actually working in you. When you feel like you've done quality meditation, you don't have to push it forward. You just get up, slowly stretch. So that's how it works. Yeah. Thank you for that. Anything else?
Seems that we understand everything.
Yes, you got it. Yeah, that's the way to go. I'm sure you have done meditation before and you have developed that interest in your mind. The Buddha says it comes from previous lives. Sometimes you may have done a lot of, maybe you were monks in previous lives, who knows? But DC monks. That can happen. And then you are now finally starting to meditate. Yeah. What is your take home from this? Anything you want to share? Are you inspired?
Mindfulness in everything.
Yeah. Mindfulness in everything. Great. Yeah. Do you have more to say?
I think just trying to come back to the breath during daily activity, any activities that I do throughout the day. That's probably something to strive for.
Important you said that actually we have the breath and that is available anytime for us to practice with. But you also have too much self-awareness, being too self-conscious all the time. That is also an experience that we have. And then we need a little bit of wisdom there to accept whatever that you are dealing with at the time. Because the moment you try to change it and fight it, there is suffering. You do not need that. You just need to welcome it, whether it is fear, anxiety, worry, or anything. You just welcome it. Make friends with it. Give the love that it demands. You give it. It's waiting for you to be done. Always think, you can drink through this, or do this or do that, but it's always waiting for you to be done, whether it is grief or anything. So that sorry about that. Grief or any such emotion that you are experiencing, it's, if you try to, people try to drink through it, run and forget it, but it's always waiting for you to be done, and just welcome it at some point. Say, I'm fully here for you. There must be a reason why you are here. That is an act of loving kindness. You fully you are fully available for it. You honor it, you give it the time, the attention it demands. You don't change the truth to be different from what it already is. Then there's liberation. It's done, it did what it had to do, and it will be disappearing slowly. Right? So that, I think, needs to be understood along with that mindful presence, because there is, it's like saying follow your heart, but take your brain with you. You've got to always know that wisdom has to be guiding you, because in this kind of practice that leads to awakening, we need to always emphasize the wisdom cultivation. If it leads to some wisdom, and that you see personality change, character development, you know it's the right kind of practice. That puts you away from, excuse me, that kind of puts you into the right track. And that right track means, excuse me, okay, not suffering and being self-conscious. Not suffering and being self-conscious. Always, know that we have programmed ourselves in certain different ways. We didn't know that we did that. I was in St. Louis teaching a retreat, July 4th retreat for 10 days. There were two puppies in the monastery. Uh, they were brought to the monastery when they were very little, but in their previous place, they must have been abused. Nobody can touch these dogs. They jump, run away. They almost come closer to the retreatants, but the moment you try to pet them, they are skittish. They just don't want your touch. That's what is programmed into their subconscious. They don't know that happened to them. They can't tell that these people are really harmless, loving. It takes time. So with our own life, we need to take that time. We need to really give yourself time. And know that no mud, no lotus. If through that suffering you discover the beautiful person who is you, you fully embrace past mistakes, past self, and that way you are on the path to self-discovery, self-love. And through that you become a different version of yourself. You don't have to hide in that place. Thank you for telling that. That took me in a different direction. Yeah. Anything else? No? Okay, we can share merits today, perhaps end the program here. Please join your palms together. It's lovely meditating with you. please join with this wish. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fear struck fearless be. May the grieving shed all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devas and nagas of mighty power, share this merit of ours. May they long protect you all and protect the Buddha's teachings. Sadhu,
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Happy meditation. Thank you so much for coming and staying this day with us. And thank you so much for supporting the Cleveland Buddhist Vihara. Thank you so much for supporting the two wonderful monks. So I'm very, very grateful for this day. See you another time.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you for Bhante. Thank you very much. I think everybody who participated the meditation retreat enjoyed, and you have learned a lot. I think you understand everything. That's what we. And so, thank you very much, Bhante, for coming all the way from Boston and spending 2 days here. So we already completed the first day. So tomorrow we will have the meditation retreat for our kids. Okay. So let us wish Bhante to be healthy and happy and to continue his this great service for the benefit of all world. And may he be able to attain eternal happiness of Nibbana. Okay.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you for everybody who is who came to practice meditation with us today, and also for all the supporters who was helping, bringing food and arranging things. And may these merits be helpful for them all and helpful for you all and also your beloved ones. And may you all be well and happy and live healthy, prosperous, long life. Maybe we can do a short chanting. Yeah, wish them all. Sabbhitiyo vivajjantu sabbha rogo vinasatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi dīghāyuko bhava bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabbha mangalang rakkantu sabbha devata sabbha sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te abhivadana silissa niccang vaddhapachayino cattaro dhamma vaddanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevaca ato nibbana sampatti minate samijjatu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.